What is going on, guys? C. Robbie Rob here, and today I'm going to be teaching you the top 5 calisthenics exercises that you need to start with as a beginner. Now, these are going to be the 5 exercises that I personally use to start and master calisthenics. I'm also going to give you guys different variations of the exercise, so no matter where you're at in your calisthenics journey, you'll be able to follow one of these and actually get started with calisthenics. Too many times I see people leaving you with exercises that you may or may not be able to do yet. So today we're going to cover everything top to bottom so that you can start today. Now, these 5 calisthenics exercises that I'm about to walk you through are exercises that I personally use that helped me master my own body weight and do cool calisthenics skills and more advanced movements like this later on. I'm going to jump straight into my first exercise. Now, the first exercise is going to be inverted rows. Inverted rows is an absolute staple and a prerequisite for learning your first pull-up. Rows are an essential calisthenics exercise in order to progress towards later, harder movements, and that's why I'm putting it at number 1. There's no way to get around the fact that rows should always be utilized in your training, whether you're just beginning and can't do a pull-up yet, or even if you can do pull-ups, you need to utilize rows to actually thicken up your back, get the physique that you want, and work towards other harder movements like tuck front lever pull-ups and things like that. How we do the inverted row is going to matter greatly for our training. The hardest version is to get almost into a parallel position with your legs straight, pulling up towards your chest and really squeezing the back. If that is too difficult, then what you're going to want to do is either switch to a straddle position, which will be slightly easier to do your rows like this, while still working the same exact muscle group. Or if you're a complete beginner, what I recommend you can do, of course you can always switch to a supinated chin-up grip, which will make it slightly easier, but also bend your knees. Just make sure that you extend through your hips up and pull your chest towards the bar the same way, squeezing the back at the top and coming back down. Doing the inverted row will greatly improve your training, build your back, and work towards that first pull-up and beyond. Now, the second calisthenics exercise might surprise you. In fact, it's actually not an exercise at all. It's a technique rather, and uses a piece of equipment like the rings. I told you guys this wouldn't be your typical top 5 list. In fact, this is kind of my own twist on things. The rings are essential for making progress, activating stabilizers and accessory muscle groups that otherwise don't really get targeted. See, the rings are extremely versatile and can be used no matter what skill level so that you can get the most out of your training. So whether you're a little bit more advanced in your training or you're just starting out, the rings offer a really special and unique ability where you can utilize them no matter your skill level. As a beginner, one of the best ways to use the rings is to just try and isometrically hold. You're gonna have to activate your core and keep the rings close to your body in order to actually be able to hold and stabilize. You might notice a lot of shaking as a beginner. Over time, when you activate the right muscles and learn the technique of the movement, and I'm still shaking, you guys will be able to you'll be able to get a lot out of the movement. You can also use the rings for exercises simply like dips. For a complete beginner, you can use the rings for something like bicep curls. This will help obviously work your arms and biceps. And the best part about the rings is they are simply adaptable, so that if I want to make it harder, I can by lowering the angle and doing single arm at a time. So as you guys can clearly see, the rings hold a very special spot in your training. They're very versatile. You can do a wide variety of exercises on them, which is only going to help increase your training, and that's why I'm putting them at number 2. Now, the third calisthenics exercise we're going to get into is an absolute staple. You already recognize it, the push-up, and any really horizontal pushing movement. Of course, I didn't start with push-ups like this. In fact, believe it or not, I actually utilized knee push-ups regularly when I was first learning calisthenics. See, the ability to modify exercises is a common theme in calisthenics and one that you have to understand in order to truly make progress. So if you're a complete beginner, I recommend starting on an incline and lowering the incline as you increase your skill level. Then as you get a little bit more advanced, you can start changing up your grip to more of like a close grip diamond or even a wider grip push-ups, understanding that each one of these will target different areas and you can even explosively switch between the two. This is the key to making progress, learning these variations. A fourth essential exercise is of course gonna be based around our lower body and legs. Despite what you might have been told about calisthenics, training your legs to be functional and athletic is a core part of calisthenics. So it's not just about mass, but it's really about functionality with our legs and having strength behind them. Your legs are a key core part to your training because it's where we start from the ground up. Of course, we can progress our legs pretty quickly with harder variations of exercises like this pull-assisted pistol squat or this single leg squat to box. What I want you to focus on is two things in your leg training. Number one is dropping the depth, increasing that range of motion. Simply going into a negative and trying to get all the way down, and of course eventually coming all the way back up. And this should kind of go without saying, but of course you want to overload with weight at some point in time if we're talking about getting stronger in a movement. So the last exercise we're going to cover is going to be one of the most underrated, which is our core. Something like this is gonna be really hard. So where do we start? Something like a tuck L-sit is a good beginner skill to work towards, but still might be a little difficult. Now, if you're a complete beginner, it's totally acceptable to start with exercises like a Russian twist. In fact, that's something that I started with. Or even doing a normal plank is a good starting point. Just make sure that as you go, you're gonna actually extend your forearms out and hold in this extended position, or hold for a longer amount of time. The core is a key foundational exercise element to our training with calisthenics. It's used in almost every movement that we've covered so far. So having a strong core is really, really important, and having focused exercises on your core is going to increase your total strength and progress much faster. These have been the top 5 exercises, if you're a beginner, that will help propel you and make progress in your training. I wanted to give you guys something that was a little bit different than your basic top 5, so I included a couple that aren't necessarily exercises, but they are key techniques or progressions or movements that you need to incorporate in your training to actually see the progress that you want. Combine that with the exercises we did go over and you'll have yourself a really good plan to progress into. Simply to wrap this up for you guys, thank you for watching this video, and if this helped you out at all, make sure to like and simply drop a comment down below letting me know what you would want to see next or how this helped you. If you're serious about leveling up with calisthenics, make sure you subscribe. And those who are serious about getting results like this, I actually do help people one-to-one in a very personalized setting to help you accomplish your dream skills, get the physique that you want. Maybe you're just busy and you need a way to work out that you can't get to the gym every day. Calisthenics can really help get you there, as it has for many of these other people. Thank you guys for watching. See Robbie Rob out, and I'll catch you on the next video.